Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, made possible with support from presenting sponsor Collette. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber, sponsored by Collette, our partner in travel. I'm Sarah Lentini, President and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber, and I'm delighted that you've joined us here today. We've got three great guests, starting with New York State Senator Joseph Robach, followed by Kevin Ferguson from Collette, the travel partner that we work with so well and for so long. And then also we have Chris Kiley from Genesee Regional Bank, a community bank that partners with the Greece Chamber and is the presenting sponsor, the founding presenting sponsor of our Small Business Awards on November 9th. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
In 2018, visit exciting U.S. and international destinations with the Greece Regional Chamber in partnership with Collette. They've done all the planning and negotiating for you so you can put the fun back in. 2018 tours include America's Cowboy Country, South Africa, Spain and Portugal, and the Treasures of Tuscany. Visit the Greece Regional Chamber today. Go online or call 585-227-7272 to find out about their upcoming presentations. Take the trip of a lifetime. Again, that's 585-227-7272.
Do you know someone who is 65 or older that needs a little extra help? Brookdale West Rochester is an assisted living community located in Greece that provides exceptional 24-hour nursing care, a signature dining program, and daily life enriching activities focusing on the 7 dimensions of wellness. We're available to support our residents and their families whenever and wherever we're needed. Call Teresa Capuano today at 225-7210 to schedule a visit. That number again, 225-7210. And find out why more seniors are choosing Brookdale Westside Rochester.
Have you had enough of the corporate life? Start living the American dream and own your own business today. FranNet is your local franchise consultant. We match you to the ideal business based on your background, budget, lifestyle, and goals. And our services are free. Businesses in senior care, automotive services, IT, hair care, home improvement, and more. Businesses that are booming in today's economy and are looking to grow right here in Rochester. Quit guessing and wondering if business ownership is right for you. Contact John Adams today at 585-739-6625 for your free consultation. That's John Adams, FranNet, 585-739-6625 or online at franchiseupstateny.com.
Rochester's home for talk. WYSL 92.1 FM and 1040 AM.
Now on the phone, we're joined by New York State Senator Robach. Senator Robach, welcome to Business Voice.
Thank you, Sarah. Great to have this opportunity, and let me start out on not only this show, but I always greatly enjoy the synergy and working along with the Grease Chamber and the other chambers for that matter, not only to share experience, grow business, share businesses, but really I appreciate that kind of growing the business family mentality. And I certainly realize it's very important for us in government to be out there talking to businesses of all sizes as to what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and really how government, even though it may sound strange, how we can be a better partner both in terms of policy as well as assistance. I just think it's great, and I applaud you and your board for doing such a great active job in our community.
Thank you so much. Oh, Senator Robach, what a nice thing to say. We feel the same about you, actually, because you're somebody who is always there, not just for the chamber, but for chamber businesses, and you're especially great about coming out for new businesses, for ribbon cuttings, for businesses large and small, and they appreciate it. We appreciate it, and I know that you've been doing this a long time. In fact, I've known you quite a while, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I know all that much about your story. And I was wondering if you might tell us a little bit about how you came to be the senior senator from the state of New York.
Well, I guess I just even have to roll it back to the beginning. I was very fortunate. We certainly were not wealthy, but my grandparents, which 3 out of 4 were immigrants, always stressed, and certainly my parents lived it. They always focused on education, knowing people in your community, and they certainly led by example. So even being interested in government, I give so much credit to my mom and dad, who, not really on the political sense, but on the micro sense, where always know your neighbors, do what you could do to be helpful, listen to what's going on. That's just how we were raised, and I think getting into office and kind of trying to apply that has allowed me to have the privilege now to be in the Senate for 15 years.
Wow, I
didn't
know.
Hopefully, building up some seniority. We have been able to deliver things, but there's always more work to do. But I guess I'm very thankful, and if anybody who knows me knows I have stood up even when people have tried to penalize me in leadership. Governor Sheldon Silver, I'm always very demanding and always monitoring whether it's money for roads and bridges, whether it's money for schools, whether it's policies. I'm always trying to make sure that Rochester, Monroe County, and Upstate New York
are represented.
Getting a fair review, and not that New York City lens all the time of them trying to convince us that something that may not be that good is good for us. So I hope by performance, I'm very appreciative that people have continued to give me the honor and privilege to represent this area in the Senate. And it is funny with, retirements or people doing something different. It seems like all of a sudden one day you're the new guy, and the next time you're the old guy. But
it happened quickly.
It kind of does.
Yeah, and speaking of the sorts of things that you're on the lookout for, certainly making sure that the Rochester region and your constituents are well represented, both in terms of interests, in terms of issues, and also in terms of resources. What are the sorts of things that you have been involved with that you're especially proud of, and that folks in our viewing audience might not be aware of? And just for anybody who's recently tuned in, I'm Sarah Lentini from the Griswold Regional Chamber, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Griswold Regional Chamber sponsored by Collette, and we're delighted to be here with New York State Senator Joe Robach.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to kind of go backwards, Sarah. So, if you look at the big ticket items, that we've been able to deliver a fair amount of resources on everything from the medical center at the U of R to the Center for Remanufacturing, incubators at RIT. I know firsthand that that's helped small businesses, satellite businesses, Vacinex. The list goes on and on and on because of those public, partner, private investments, us working together with our colleges, universities, and businesses together, that's helped create a number of employment opportunities for people. Right now, though, we can do, a policy that's going to help all business across the board. This year, absolutely, without the Senate Republicans holding out and demanding, we would have not have gotten some of those changes in workers' compensation, which are going to save the average business 5%. Now, some people might say 5% is not a lot.
Actually, it is.
But, that we're kind of turning this big ship around, and, we have not had any new taxes for regular, everyday people or businesses now in several years, and I think that's critically important. And I guess after pounding the drum for 16 years, I'm glad to see that some of that is coming to fruition. And in an odd way, because sometimes people accuse me of being against New York City. I'm not against New York City. I'm just for Rochester and Monroe County. And oftentimes, they want to go in an exact, diametrically opposed direction from what I'm hearing from the people I represent here. They still, oftentimes in New York City, want to raise taxes, put more fees on businesses, put surcharges on everything from buying a house to even, investing in your business. We, quite frankly, in the Republican Senate want to do the opposite. We've been involved in a number of pieces of legislation that would incentivize private incentive and have them skip certain taxes and fees rather than go the other direction. But, of course, we need to pass those bills in both houses of the legislature.
Right. And how
get them to the floor if they're going to get enacted.
Right. And how is that working these days? Or do you think there's good? It seems to me as though there's some good, strong bipartisan coalition building that's going on.
On some things, there definitely is. And we can point to successes on the Regional Economic Development Committee. But I think on the policy side, I think we need to continue to go further. And, we've been able to turn back some of these things and everything from, calls to take off the STAR program or wanting to put increased fees on energy, telecommunication. We've got to stop going in that direction in New York State. I mean, clearly, the people I represent, from everyday people to mom-and-pop businesses to small businesses to big businesses, everybody's saying the same thing. We need, to have less fees, less costly regulation.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
So we're always trying to strike that balance.
That's wonderful. I'm really delighted to hear, if I just may, that you and we are making some progress on things like workers' comp expenses for small businesses, because that I've heard quite a bit about. Folks within our constituency are, very concerned. And of course, that isn't the only cost that's hitting, and it's not just small businesses, but business in general that's of concern. But it's one of them that I've heard about quite a bit. So, maybe it isn't as much movement as some people might like, but I agree with you. It's great to see that there's movement, in an arena where sometimes movement is, very, very difficult to achieve. So, one of the things that that I know that you're very involved with. You sit on a variety of committees, but don't you chair the Transportation Committee?
Absolutely. And I'll say, in my career, in aggregate dollars, one of the biggest things we achieved, and I thank so many coalitions of business people, architects, engineers, people in the building field, our local highway superintendents and people that work in that field, people in the trucking industry, that we were able to get back parity with the Metropolitan Transit Authority in New York City and make a 6-year plan of $27 billion that will be going out to them, but also to roads and bridges across upstate New York. Terrific. I thought was a tremendous victory, and I tell people, business people, to think this way. So even if you're not in that field every day, those projects, that work is going to ingest a lot of money into the community. Those people buy cars, they buy insurance, they buy clothes for their kids. And really the global impact of that is great. And I was very, very disappointed for almost the previous 5 years. So much more money was going to New York City for mass transit than it was for roads and bridges. And the rest of the state, I felt that was tremendously unfair, and I think the impact of that was negative. I was very, very happy as both on the head of the budget subcommittee and the transportation chair dealing with that area, that we get that parity back, and that will last for 6 years.
That's
and
great.
I have to say, you're seeing the benefits or some of the fruits of that labor today. It's a good problem. Now I'm getting people calling saying that everywhere they go, they're slowed down a little bit because of everything from 390, 490, Lyle Avenue Bridge, downtown improvements, Interloop, Kendrick Road getting finished up near the U of R, that, people are, they're noticing it, sometimes not always appreciating some of the traffic delays, but that's just part of it. But I'm glad we're getting that infrastructure work done and really kind of ingesting that money that's going to help a number of businesses across our region.
Right. Absolutely. Congratulations. And I have to say that was exactly what I was thinking. Often we talk about economic development, and I think that people perhaps are thinking about it in narrow terms, but areas such as transportation and investing money in roads and bridges, that's certainly economic development. It certainly can be economic development, and what you just described is a great example of that. And I know that you sit on some other committees as well, and I didn't realize that you played such a strong leadership role connected to the budget as well for the state of New York. So that's got to be an interesting process.
One good thing, just to, we always talk about how government works. And I do think that the budget conference committees and being out in public, though sometimes it can seem regulated, is a little bit more open and transparent. And it certainly gives every member of the legislature, not just the leaders, the ability with, cameras rolling, open to the public, the opportunity for them to share their opinion on every aspect of the budget. And there's a lot of subcommittees. I get to chair the one that does transportation, infrastructure, some other things that are critically important to all of us in New York. But that's a relatively, we've only been doing that for the last several years. But I do think it's better because I think process does matter, and it usually does add, at least to some degree, better outcomes. So, there are some encouraging things, but let me say in all realism, we have a lot to do, too, because it's a big ship. But I would even say I think that there's been indicators that it's helped the economy, just that we've lived now for 6 years within, that rate of inflation at 2% or less, budget cap. That's helpful because in the previous years, I don't care whether you're a business, whether you're a private individual, if your salary is only growing at 1% and you continue to spend 5%, you might be able to get by with a credit card temporarily, but occasionally that's going to lead to financial challenge, if not disaster. So we've righted the ship, I think, in the positive direction.
Yes.
But I think we have to keep going because while we've had some great things here, Easton Business Park, I point out, now not only has its core jobs of Kodak, but everyone knows the story. They're greatly diminished, but we're now about 10,000 jobs at Kodak Park, over 6,000 of which are all new businesses and all small businesses, energy storage, battery, hydroponic growing, even medical marijuana, Canisano Foods, silver reclamation, a lot of different small companies that you hope will continue to grow. But
it's very exciting.
Those 6,000 jobs that we didn't have.
That's right.
6 years ago, those are feeding families. Those are, creating opportunities. So
that's right.
That's what I try to focus on.
Yeah, and of course we're diversifying our portfolio in a sense. This has been a great community with a great long history. with 2 or 3 gigantic corporations, and and now we're reinventing ourselves, and it's great to see that we're doing that and doing it successfully, and wonderful that we have leadership coming from you and others at the in Albany and at the state level. Because you've got this long view, I guess I've got a couple of questions for you, and then I absolutely want to talk about the Small Business Awards luncheon, given that you're a keynote speaker this year. But the thing that I'm wondering is whether there are specific ways that business owners and individuals who are listening can participate in the government process and or can come to you or to government agencies for assistance. So maybe starting with business. If you're a business owner out there and you're looking for some assistance, what sorts of things does the state of New York offer?
Sure. So I'd say it twofold. There's some existing programs that oftentimes can be helpful to people depending on what business they're in. And I usually think they know that or are aware of it. And then there's a lot of business associations. So just this week, I spoke to the Builders Exchange, which are all people that work in building, construction, or sell materials or tools to people that do that. And everything from building a building from head to finish to putting in a floor to you name it. So those people are very organized, and they may say, here's a policy, or if you're going to give an incentive for green building and technology, this is the way we think it will help us in our business. And they sort of already have that vehicle set up. But if you're not in an association, absolutely people should pick up the phone, use their Chamber of Commerce. There's a myriad of ways. And I say this very, very sincerely. What I've tried to make the hallmark of my time in service is that if I'm not out there and you can't speak to me, feel free to pick up the phone and talk to me and let me know what's on your mind. Now, we can't always do everything everybody wants, but I readily admit this. I put a lot of time in, but I am not an expert, whereas men and women who run their own business, they are. And we have a lot of dialogue. I just came from the Rochester Hispanic Business Person of the Year. And, they talk about ways that, if there were more capital available for people, not a grant, but, capital and seed money that might help them grow their business. We take that very seriously, and there have been some programs created to try and help different people to borrow money at a lower interest than perhaps if they went to
a conventional lending institution.
Lending thing. So I say everything and anything is on the table. I quite frankly learn from the people I serve, not vice versa. Sometimes I have to say, well, this is why we can do this, or this is why we may not be able to do that. But I greatly appreciate the dialogue from organized groups right down to private individuals who are doing business and maybe only creating a job for them, their spouse, and maybe the people in their family, but every job is critically important. Right. And when they have good ideas and expertise, when they share that, I think that makes me a more comprehensive legislator.
So that's a great message for our listeners. And in case you just tuned in, I'm Sarah Lentini of the Greece Regional Chamber, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Chamber sponsored by Collette. And I am here joined by New York State Senator Joe Robach, and we're talking a little bit about economic development and ways in which the business community and for that matter, the average citizen can partner with government. And a great takeaway here is people should pick up the phone and call you. And I appreciate what you said a minute ago about chambers, which is people should also feel free to reach out to chambers such as the Greece Regional Chamber and others, because that's really what we're all here for. And it is a dialogue, and it's we have a lot of shared goals, different parts of the community, and it's important to be able to find platforms for coming together and figuring out how we work together. And I think that your accessibility is something that we very much appreciate. So before we let you go, Senator Robach, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that you are the keynote speaker at the Chamber's 2017 Small Business Awards, an event that's really become a very special major event for the Greece Regional Chamber over the last 5 years. And it is an event sponsored by Genesee Regional Bank. And, it's important for us to bring in keynotes who have an understanding of business and economic development. And so we thought that you would just be perfect to come and talk to the group. It's November 9th, and it's a luncheon at the Marriott. Can you tell us a little bit about any special relationship and issues that you see for small business? Because I know that you are literally on the ground meeting people and talking to them and being in dialogue, as you described.
Yeah, first let me say I'm very, honored to have the opportunity to address them and also congratulate small business winners. It's really absolutely true, and what I'll be speaking about is kind of this, that I believe I read that 80% of the jobs now created in America are companies or operations smaller than 25. So that's a very different world than, when I grew up and being a lifetime Rochesterian, when I entered the workforce, you had the behemoths, the Kodaks, the Xerox, Bausch & Lomb, they carried the day. If you got in there, you thought you were set. Now it's a little bit more about your skill set, your passion, entrepreneurship. So there's an opportunity maybe to run your own ship and get very wealthy, but there's a lot more to do to it. We have to make sure that in the state that we're integrated, that people not only know that, we have the Small Business Development Center that can help them with a business plan, but also knowing that they have to do a little bit more besides their core business, oftentimes to know all the rules and regulations. And then I say this, we all get very excited about bids. This week we were talking about, is there any opportunity, and we're doing all we can to see if Amazon would ever even think about coming here, or a joint venture between us and Buffalo, or any part of it even being a hub to try and create more jobs. But we can't. It's all exciting, but we can't just think about the bigs. We have to think about small business because, again, I'm going to go back to that number. 80% of the jobs are created there. And I know all kinds of people. I talked about those companies who have downsized, and I know some have had a challenge, but I know many who have taken their skill set and created their own businesses who are actually flourishing and making more money in business because of that change they probably would have done.
That's right.
If they didn't have to out of necessity. So we need to have policies, but we also need small business people to be a loud voice and be unified. And I think sometimes chambers can do that, whether it's the Rochester Chamber, whether it's the Greece Chamber, whether it's the Case Charlie Chamber. But it can also be them individually in their associations. And it doesn't mean I'm suggesting they not be polite professional, but to have a program and to make reasonable requests that can help their business and other businesses grow will be good. And maybe this is a great place for me to end, because when business, big and small, is doing well, it kind of lifts all boats.
Yes.
I call it positive. If the economy's flourishing, just on positive generation, government can have a little bit more resources. We don't have to add some new tax or fee. That's what we're trying to avoid desperately. So they need to be, not only run their business, but be united and be a loud voice
on
how we can make those businesses stronger. So I kind of always give them something to do, too.
That's great. And it is a great place to end. And we thank you so much, Senator Robach, for joining us here today on Business Voice. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on November 9th at the Marriott in Greece, where you're going to be the keynote speaker. I'm looking forward to it, along with a whole lot of other small business owners who are going to be there, excited to be able to be in dialogue with you as well as to hear from you. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show, be the keynote speaker. And let me congratulate you and Russ Herman, the chairman of the board, and all the board. It was a very successful event at the Blue Barn where a lot of business folks came together, had a little fun, and had a chance to dialogue in a relaxed atmosphere. I always appreciate building that business sense of community. I think it's not only nice, but it's critically important. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being there as well. And that was a great event. Senator Robach is talking about an event we had at the Blue Barn Cidery on Manitou Road, which is one of our new business members and one of our new regional cideries, craft cideries. So it was wonderful to be coming out to support it. Thank you again, Senator. You've been listening to Business Voice and New York State Senator Joe Robach. We will be right back.
The voice of liberty.
WYSL.
Celebrating 30 years. WYSL1040.com, 92.1 FM, and 1040 AM WYSL, Avon, Rochester.
In 2018, visit exciting U.S. and international destinations with the Greece Regional Chamber in partnership with Collette. They've done all the planning and negotiating for you so you can put the fun back in. 2018 tours include America's Cowboy Country, South Africa, Spain and Portugal, and the treasures of Tuscany. Visit the Greece Regional Chamber today. Go online or call 585-227-7272 to find out about their upcoming presentations. Take the trip of a lifetime. Again, that's 585-227-7272.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
Griswold Home Care is dedicated to keeping the heart at home by referring caregivers who are passionate about helping aging or disabled adults live independently at home. If your goal is to remain at home, we can refer compassionate caregivers you can trust. Whether you are recovering from a hospital stay, injury, or illness, or you need help caring for a spouse or parent, let Griswold Home Care help you reduce the anxiety and stress during this time. Compassion is our passion. Call 1-800-GRISWOLD or visit griswoldhomecare.com.
Do you need a place to relax? Frisbee's Landscaping, Ponds, and Patios is waiting for your call. Frisbee's Landscaping, Ponds, and Patios will create your personal paradise, a vacation destination in your own backyard. Frisbee's Landscaping, Ponds, and Patios will take your dreams and make them a reality. Your only limitation is your imagination. Call us today to schedule your free consultation. Visit our website at frisbeeslandscaping.com or call us at 585-698-4605. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search Frisbee's Landscaping, Ponds, and Patios.
This is Tony Bartolucci, Minister of Preaching at Christ Church of Clarkson, formerly Clarkson Community Church. On October 27 through 29, in conjunction with our new name, we will be celebrating our bicentennial as well as commemorating the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation. Please go to our website for more information, clarksonchurch.com, and be sure to listen to Grounded in Grace every Sunday at 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. only here on WYSL.
Tune in anywhere. Live streaming to PCs and mobile devices at WYSL1040.com.
I'm a traveling man, made a lot of stuff all over the world.
And welcome back. I'm Sarah Lentini from the Greece Regional Chamber, and you're listening to Business Voice, the program of the Greece Regional Chamber, sponsored by Collette, our partner in travel. And speaking of travel, I'm delighted to have here with me in studio Kevin Ferguson from Collette, who's actually the person that we deal with the most. The Greece Chamber has a long-standing partnership with Collette around travel programs for folks in our region. And welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Kevin, I know that you cover a lot of ground, literally, right?
A lot of ground.
Right,
a lot of ground.
Right. And I wanted to just sort of ask, first of all, tell us a little bit about Collette, because some people may not know about the company. Where are you based, and how old are you? And tell us.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. And Collette, we are the longest-running tour operator in the United States. We started in 1918. A gentleman by the name of Jack Collette was trying to get those soldiers and people coming back from the Great War, World War I, to get some time in the sun and away from life and the burdens of life. And the first trip was a 3-week-long bus tour. It went from Boston down to Florida. Open air coach, jitneys, cost $66.50 for that 3-week-long journey. So a lot has changed since 1918, but still family-run and operation. We do 157 different destinations on all 7 continents. So we go where you're thinking of.
Wow, that's a great history. What a neat story in terms of the the original inspiration for the company. But that's an awful lot of experience and literally a lot of ground that you cover, right?
Absolutely,
and ocean.
a lot of ground, but also tested and true is the fact that we've been able to economically withstand the Great Depression, the recessions, the wars, Zika, swine flu, bird flu, whatever the pushback is in the world's climates, we're able to always adjust quite well, and that's
it's
why.
Critical. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, to be around for 1 century, turning 2018, is very very impressive.
Wonderful. Now you don't just set up airfare, right? You don't just set up a trip. I mean, tell us a little bit. I mean, part of why we work with you is because you pay so much attention to the details and you have relationships, right? So,
absolutely. Thank you. So one of the things here with Collette is that we provide group-guided experiences all over the world. And what that means is we are flying the group out with the chamber. We fly the group out of Rochester, so we're not sitting on a tour bus from here to another major gateway. And again, whether it's Tuscany, whether it's South Africa, whether it's out west on the Cowboy Country to Jackson and Jackson Hole and Wyoming area, we want to make sure that everything is taken care of. The itinerary is all set up, 4-star quality accommodations. All you have to do is rise. You don't necessarily need to shine every day, and you're not fighting with your travel companion over a map.
Isn't that
happens
nice?
far too often, that you're fighting of, where are we going here, there? We've got it perfectly planned out for you, so you just sit back, relax, and we take care of the rest.
Isn't that nice? That's really lovely. And speaking of all the nice places you mentioned, we've got a longstanding, the Greece Regional Chamber, and in case you've just tuned in, you're listening to Business Voice, which is a program of the Greece Regional Chamber sponsored by Collette. And we've got this longstanding relationship around travel, and that means that every year we offer some featured trips, and typically we offer some discounts as well, usually some early bird discounts as well as membership discounts, although you do not need to be a member of the chamber in order to take advantage of the trips. And we have some, we've got 4 major featured trips this year that, maybe you could tell us about. I know South Africa was the first.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things is the reason why the Chamber is offering trips is to enhance what it does for the community. This is a very popular format all throughout the United States and Canada of just, hey, what is your local Chamber of Commerce doing for you? These group-guided experiences here, and what we're doing here, 4 places. South Africa is going to be our first one, which is slated for February of 2018. Well, you're thinking Rochester in February. We're not. We're going to be flying out because this is that warm fun and sun and that much more.
Yep.
While it's February in Monroe County and the Genesee Valley, we're looking at summertime, and this is the late summer. This is when the harvest of the wines is going on here in South Africa.
Oh,
so
nice.
For the culturally curious, the ones that want to get into understanding of the history of South Africa, going and doing a game drive through Kruger National Park. We have it there, and yes, I'll be back, and we'll be shoveling your driveway for you when you get back home. Just kidding. The next one here is going to be our Cowboy Country, which is going to be going from Jackson, Wyoming, out and doing Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Park, and then through the Bighorn Mountains of Wyoming, and finishing with 3 nights in Rapid City, South Dakota, where we're doing the Black Hills and the Badlands. there's a lot of things to see in our own country,
yes.
Whether it's the Mount Rushmore or Deadwood or Crazy Horse, and so much there. The other one in the fall is going to be our trip to Spain and the Portuguese Riviera in October. Temperatures at this time of year are going to be in the 60s and 70s, and it's perfect because it's not too hot, not too cold, just right. Regional wines with every dinner. So the first glass, you'll understand Spanish. Second one, you'll be speaking Portuguese. And the third one, well, we'll be translating English back to you. And that's what's great is you're having these inclusive experiences, going and meeting with the locals, going into local shops and having that kind of business experience of, hey, how are the mom and pop shops doing here as well?
Yep.
Very fascinating.
Yep. And I don't know about you, but as I get older, and I'm not divulging just how old that is.
29 and counting.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. But I really feel as though experiences become more important to me than things. I think when I was younger, I wanted possessions. That's where I wanted to invest my money. And now I want to invest it in memories. So,
without a doubt, travel is the only thing that you pay for that you truly become richer off of. Mm-hmm. Your car will break down, your clothes will go out of style, but nobody will ever take away that experience of going to Tuscany, and having a cooking class under the Tuscan sun, going and experiencing these wineries. I oftentimes hear the bucket list, the wish list, the to-do list. I don't do anything with a bucket other than wash a car, and that's no fun.
No.
And I like to use that word to-do list because it has to get done. It's something that is a priority. And go travel the world because it's not the amount of life in your years. It's the amount of years, I should say it's the amount of life in years, not the amount of years in your life. So.
And interesting because I'm actually happy to see that a lot of the people that are going on our trips are folks that are relatively young, they're fit, they're active, they're healthy, and they're taking advantage of this moment in their lives to get out there and enjoy. So, so that's very much good news, and I hope to join them soon. By the way, because I'd love to go on some of these trips.
Absolutely, I agree.
I want to make sure that folks know that for the two that you just mentioned, the America's Cowboy Country and Spain's Costa del Sol and the Portuguese Riviera, you're actually doing information sessions at the Greece Regional Chamber, which is on Ridge Road in Greece, on October 24th. So it's coming right up, and they're free information sessions. And I don't know if folks listening know as well as I do, but they're probably starting to suspect that you know quite a bit about the places that that your company has as destinations. And so it's Kevin that comes out and Kevin that does the information sessions, and he's been to all these places probably more than once and knows them like the back of his hand. And so you have the benefit of hearing about the history, the culture, and the destination from somebody, who isn't just reading to you from a brochure and makes it come alive. And, I still remember when you did a session, Kevin, last year on Poland. Mm-hmm. I'd never had any interest in going to Poland. And I came away from the session, first of all, having learned a tremendous amount about just how gorgeous and interesting the country is and wanting to go. So,
Well, that's it. And I think just, sorry for cutting you off there, I always say is that being able to see the pictures and see the slides, because you might not have thought about this destination of South Africa or Tuscany or Spain or the out west, but it's hearing more, it's understanding of what the value is going to be of that experience. Because price is what you pay for, but the value is is the quality that you want and you expect. We're not the cheapest company. We're not the most expensive company, but we also want to make sure that you have the choices and you have just options. Breakfast included every day, several dinners included, but lunch is generally on your own because we want that traveler to be able to, do it within their own financial, budget as well.
I see that you're really trying to strike a balance between some free time, structured time, but not giving everybody so much structure that they, they're not feeling like they can explore. And I also, think that you've got a great mix of trips. I am really impressed because you mix it up every year and you create some slightly new wrinkles around what ultimately are finite parts of the world. and and you're doing that because you understand those areas so well. So I just want to get in this, though. If you're just joining us, I'm Sarah Lentini from the Greece Regional Chamber, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber sponsored by Collette. And I'm here with Kevin Ferguson from Collette, who is the person who brings so much life to the various trips that we offer, and also to the presentations. So, as I mentioned, for those two trips, which were America's Cowboy Country and Spain's Costa del Sol, we have information sessions that are free and open to the public at the Greece Chamber, and those are on October 24th, and you can go to greecechamber.org in order to get more information or to sign up and register, which we hope you do. Now, I just want to segue to something a little bit different, Kevin, if you don't mind. Part of what makes you so good at what you do, I think, is because you've got, a great background and a true passion for learning and for culture. You want to tell us just a little bit about yourself? Yeah, a little bit about myself, as I'm born and raised in the Syracuse area, and was a tour manager for Collette for 7 years before going into the sales side. My background was in languages, and also fell in love with travel. And the travel bug is the worst disease out there. It's something that you get bitten with, and you keep coming back year over year and saying, I need to go here. I need to experience this. And it did the same here for me, and have been fortunate to travel to nearly 70 countries over the last 15 years of my life. And I met my wife on tour. I was bringing a group to a hotel in Peru, and hubba hubba, mi corazón, I need to talk to you. And finally she said yes. And that's how the beautiful fairy tale has become. And so travel's been good to you.
Travel has been great for me. And it's also not only that, but being able to have experienced these tours, and also be able to relate back to the interested parties of, okay, yes, when you go on this trip, this is what you're going to be able to expect. Setting that proper expectation is always paramount. So, no, and it's fun. It's fun to be able to sell something so fun as in travel. It's the stuff on the ground. We always hear about the airports and the airlines and the horror stories of getting there. That's why it doesn't say Collette Airlines on the side of the airplane, okay? But it's everything once we're on the ground that we're the experts at. That, you again, being over here for nearly 100 years, we do have to tweak those itineraries year on year, make it a little bit fresh, change the hotels up to time, because that's what people want. Again, that's why we have a 98% satisfaction rating in the market.
And also an awful lot of repeat customers. I know that, just from our little neck of the woods, that there are plenty of people that are particularly passionate about traveling with you, and that come back for multiple trips year after year. So that's saying something as well. Of course, and we have that loyalty club that we have. So again, one who takes a trip with the Greece Chamber, within 2 years' time, they're able to receive up to between $100 to $150 off their next trip. So they're always going, where's next? Where are we going? Right. So this is why we already have 2018 already planned out for you here. That's wonderful. Kevin Ferguson from Collette, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber, and I thank you so much. You have a great day. Thank you very much, and glad to have you travel with us. Thank you. Stick around. Coming up next is Chris Kiley from Genesee Regional Bank.
Join the Greece Regional Chamber and presenting sponsor Genesee Regional Bank for the 2017 Small Business Awards Luncheon at the Rochester Airport Marriott Hotel at noon on November 9th. We'll be recognizing finalists and announcing the winners of the Small Business of the Year and the Micro Enterprise of the Year. And our keynote speaker will be New York State Senator Joseph Robach. Help us celebrate small business, the backbone of our economy. Purchase tickets or advertise in the program book. Call 585-227-7272 or visit greecechamber.org.
From the history of Holy Sepulchre Cemetery to the pastoral beauty of Ascension Garden Cemetery, the Holy Sepulchre family of cemeteries offers sacred, peaceful, reflective, and beautiful spaces to remember your loved ones. Whether you wish your final resting place to be in ground in one of our many garden sections or above ground in one of our mausoleums or columbarium, you will find options and price ranges to meet all your needs. Both cemeteries also offer special sections for first responders, veterans, and for natural or green burials. We invite you to visit us today or call 585-458-4110 to make an appointment. Holy Sepulchre and Ascension Garden Cemeteries offer peaceful, beautiful spaces.
Experience the ultimate in all-electric indoor go-kart racing at RPM Raceway in Rochester. RPM Raceway provides the most authentic, exhilarating, and memorable racing experience second only to climbing into an actual race car. No lights, no limits, just speed. Racers can conquer lightning-fast straightaways and hairpin turns in RPM Raceway's high-performance, Italian-made go-karts capable of speeds up to 45 miles per hour. Stop in for Arrive and Drive Racing or book a personal celebration or corporate event. For more information, visit rpmraceway.com today.
Hello, my name is Art Wheat, CEO of Site Steward, where we make great stewards of your website. We're proud to bring value and support to many businesses and nonprofits in our community, including the Grease Chamber. What do you like best about your website? Is it optimized for Google? Is it mobile friendly? Can your team easily make changes on their own? If these questions make you think about ways your website could improve, then we would be honored if you visited our website at sitesteward.com or call us at 585-647-1101 and give us a chance to be great stewards of your website. Again, visit us at sitesteward.com or call 585-647-1101.
For over 75 years, Villa of Hope has risen to meet the changing needs of our community. We know more than ever about the consequences of trauma and how it tears families apart. As our communities battle drug epidemics, violence, bullying, and teen suicide, the Villa stands as a place where youth and families can rebuild relationships, recover potential, and renew hope for the future. For more information, visit villaofhope.org.
We support our local, county, and state police. WYSL 92.1 FM and 1040 AM.
Welcome back. I'm Sarah Lentini, and this is Business Voice, a program of the Grease Regional Chamber, sponsored by Collette. And I'm delighted to have in studio with me right now Chris Kiley from Genesee Regional Bank. Welcome, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Genesee Regional Bank is is very much a bank of this community, right? And,
certainly,
and it
yes.
hasn't been in existence all that long. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about it and how it got started and who's behind it.
Yes, Genesee Regional Bank, the inception was 1996, formed by Phil Saunders, who's a prominent businessman locally.
Absolutely.
See his name on all the
college buildings.
College
right.
down in the southern tier. So you see his name quite a bit. He's responsible for the Sugar Creek stores years ago, and he's involved with American Rock Salt nowadays and Genesee Regional Bank naturally. He and Dan Galassi started Genesee Regional Bank with the intention of lending and keeping money in our community. Oh. That's our focus. So actually our bank charter says we have to lend money within 60 miles of Rochester.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually that's very cool.
It is nice, yeah.
So you really are here for is it the greater Rochester region? Is that how you would define it?
Yeah.
More or less?
Yeah. Again, within Rochester, and most of our businesses within Monroe County seems
very
to
nice.
be. So, I work out of our Grease branch, and my focus is building our presence out in Grease and helping local business, either Grease or wherever on the west side.
And you've been doing that for, was it the last 5 years you said?
Yeah, I've been with GRB for 5 years. I used to work out of our main location, which was Linden Oaks, and now it's Winton Road. And since end of February, early March, I've worked out of our Grease branch. So right. I've taken on the responsibility of driving up our presence in Grease in the west side, Gates, Grease area.
And doing a great job. I mean, we see you at Grease Regional
mm-hmm.
Chamber events, and
mm-hmm.
It's great to have the connection right next door.
And that's part of our model is we're active in the community with the Grease Chamber. As you well know, we're a sponsor of the Grease Chamber. We're a sponsor of the Small Business Awards, I think since the inception, before my time.
Yes. Yeah, no, you guys are the founding presenting sponsors. Genesee Regional Bank is the founding presenting sponsor of the Small Business Awards mm-hmm. that we hold every year, and that's coming up this year on November 9th, mm-hmm. which is really right around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're very grateful for that, and I'm understanding more and more that you take your role as a community bank seriously. So giving back is part of what
mm-hmm.
you do. Is that correct? And I'm assuming that, I very much appreciate what you do for the Grease Regional mm-hmm. Chamber, but I imagine we're not alone.
No, and we are a small business ourselves compared to other banks. We have 3 branches, one in Greece, as you well know, one in Pittsford on Monroe Avenue, and our main location, which is a branch also in Winton Road in Brighton area. So we appreciate local business because we have the same issues that small business does working against the big guys. So, I mean, we have customers across all broad stroke of customers, big business, manufacturers and small business, pizzerias and things like that. So we're more, we like to think of ourselves as not a transactional bank, but a relationship bank, meaning it's not all, I mean, we're very competitive with our rates and everything, but we like to gain customers so we can grow with customers, not just a one time and we're done. We like to, get customers and grow with them as they need a mortgage, as they need new equipment for their business.
So you're in it for the long haul.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a nice way to put it. You're really about relationships. So one of the things that that is pretty clear is that you also have a strong relationship with small business.
Exactly. Yes.
Given that you have been the founding member of the Small Business Awards, can you tell us a little bit about the roles that you play with small business? I mean, obviously there's sort of the conventional lending roles, but are there things that people might not know about that the the listening audience might not know?
Again, just that we're 100% local, so our decision makers are in Rochester. So some of the other banks, they might be based out of Buffalo or Cleveland. Our board of directors are all local businessmen, so they can look at a business opportunity a little bit different than just as a banker. They could see the big picture, and we could be a little more flexible in our lending and the way we structure a deal.
Yep.
Just because we have that, we're local and we have that flexibility. We don't have to answer to a corporate office.
Very
if you
nice.
will.
And you have that community commitment.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean we're focused as the community is strong and grows, and the local economy grows. Even if they're not GRB customers, it benefits us because our customers will benefit from a strong economy. So and then potential down the road. So we want to grow. Our tagline GRB is growing Rochester business, and that's what we strive to do. We want to help the local economy, local community grow.
So say I'm somebody in the community and I'm listening to this and I'm thinking about starting a business. At what point is it appropriate to come to a Genesee Regional Bank? Do you guys do any kind of, do you provide any education? Do you help people with business plans?
We kind of do. So we require, if we're going to look at any opportunity, if it's someone that's buying a business or looking to start a business, we like to look at a business plan. So it's not just here, I want to open a pizzeria. You have to have some idea what your expenses are going to be, what your projections are going to be. So I guess that would kind of force someone to, if they didn't have that, we would try and help them to do that so they could bring it back to us so we could try and structure a deal for them and look at it. So I guess that would help them indirectly.
And I imagine that, some of the resources in the community for getting some of the assistance. I know that we've done some workshops, and I think that you have, and possibly we have together, where we provide information to folks, not just folks starting businesses, but also folks in business about how to kind of strengthen their proposals for lending. And
there's other partners and programs. The county has a program where if you want to buy equipment, they can underwrite a portion of it and get you a better rate. We deal with the Small Business Association to put some loans through. So, we have other outlets that we could partner with people to give customers a better rate or better opportunity.
That's wonderful. Now, you've got a new corporate headquarters, too, right?
Yes, 1850 South Winton Road. It's right by that crazy cloverleaf, if you will, right by kind of like kitty corner from the Jewish home. We have some nice signage on there so you can see it as you drive by on 590. You can see our logo.
You're perfectly positioned. It's like you
come
off the highway and that's the first thing you see is your sign, which is great. And it's a great location and a beautiful location, if I may say so.
Yeah, we just had an event with the Grease Chamber, franchise.
That's right.
Seminar.
Yeah, we did a great event. It was the the Business Success Stories.
Yes.
The franchise, right? We have a series called Business Success Stories, and then this one happened to focus on the franchise, which is, of course, a very interesting model for for business ownership. And we had some great panelists, and you guys actually helped make the connections between us and several of the panelists. So that's something that we hope to do more of,
and
certainly. We're going to be doing more with Genesee Regional Bank, and we really appreciate the the commitment that you have.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's coming down the pike with Genesee Regional Bank that folks might be particularly interested in knowing? Do you guys have any events? Do you have any open houses? Do you have? Oh, I know what you have.
What?
You have a First Friday. It's a little ways out.
In Greece,
it's a little ways out.
February. That's the first one we could
February. Yes.
That's how busy the Greece Chamber is.
Yeah, well, that's how busy the business community is. That's how many people there are that are looking to network and get the word out about what they do. But in February, the first Friday of the month at 7:30 a.m., we are going to be having a networking event at Genesee Regional Bank in Greece, which is where you are.
2300 West Ridge Road.
2300 West Ridge Road.
Across from the mall, across from Bar Louie or Panera, depending on if you're looking.
which is your signpost, right?
Yeah.
So and if you need any more help, greasechamber.org is where everything is listed, including the Small Business Awards function on November 9th, as well as the First Friday networking event for both members and non-members at Genesee Regional Bank. And I just want to say, Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and we appreciate the Grease Chamber. It's a great organization. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. That about wraps it up for us here today. I just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts and things that I want to underscore before we completely close out the show. One is that the Grease Regional Chamber serves folks throughout Monroe County and the Finger Lakes region, and you do not need to live or work in Greece in order to be a member. Another is that open enrollment is coming up for health insurance, and the Grease Regional Chamber has a brokerage firm. We're licensed brokers, and you can get medical, dental, and vision insurance through us. And for the medical insurance, you do not need to be a member, once again, nor do you need to live or work in Greece or Monroe County for that matter. And then to make sure that you're aware that we do travel. We have a travel partner in Collette, a wonderful travel partner, and they put together high-value packages that really make it so easy to take a long and meaningful trip to any number of parts of the world, as well as right here in our own country. And the travel sessions that we have coming up begin on October 24th. They're free. They're open to the public. You don't need to be a member, although you get an extra discount if you are one. And everything is on our website at greasechamber.org. The really big event that we have coming up that I also want to underscore is our November 9th Small Business Awards Luncheon. It's the time each year that we really celebrate the wonderful small businesses and micro enterprises in our community. And Genesee Regional Bank is the founding presenting sponsor of that event. We're so grateful to them. If you have any interest, check out greasechamber.org. I thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sarah Lentini of the Grease Regional Chamber, and you've been listening to Business Voice.
You've been listening to Business Voice, a program of the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce sponsored by Collette. The Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.